Why did you become a recording artist?
Well, back when I was younger, music always had an effect on me. The way I felt, the way it would make me feel, I couldn't explain it. I would go from happy to sad or sad to happy depending on whatever the song was. And at some point in time, I decided I wanted to make people feel that way, the way I felt.
What genre of music do you consider yourself at this point?
As of right now, kind of like a rapper. I sing a lot too though, but my lyrical, I can get mad lyrical, but I can also sing my ass off. So I say rap R&B.
Now, how did you get into each of those genres of music specifically?
Shit, just being with my moms. Like my mom listened to a lot of old R&B music. Actually, just my family in general, which I grew up around a lot of women. They played a lot of R&B music for such as like Donny Hathaway. You can even go into like the gospel singers. Like that's how that got started. But with that rap shit, it was really like it was Wayne. Shit, I used to rewrite Wayne's lyrics, like rewrite them in class and shit, and try to make them my own. And shit, I ended up getting into like Gucci Mane and shit. I can go on and on. Any rap artist that was popping back in like '08 to now, I was probably on the niggas for sure.
So explain the Lil Wayne lyrics there.
Shit.
You would rap Lil Wayne lyrics and people thought these were your own lyrics?
Nah. See, I can't even remember the song from Lil Wayne, but it was something about Young Money Cash Cow, I'm not sure. But my friend had put me on, and he knew I was a big fan. I ended up writing out his lyrics in class, and I was like, yo, watch this. And by the end of class, I switched all of his rhymes around to mine. Like I kind of it was still his flows, his song, but I replaced all of his lyrics with mine. Like just rhyming in the same way, the same cadence, but different rhyme schemes, different bars. Yeah, and niggas thought that shit was fire, so.
Was that something that you just did in class live, or was this something that you record? Was this something that there's video footage of?
Nah, this is like some deep archive. Like you would probably have to go through storage to find the fucking tablet. I would freestyle in the front of the class. I ain't start recording until like 2016. It was around like 2011 when I did that, 2010.
And for time reference, it's March 2021.
March 2021, yeah.
Now, which genre did you encounter first? Was it R&B or was it rap?
Definitely R&B. I definitely encountered R&B first. Yeah.
Because you encountered R&B first, did you attempt to sing?
Oh hell yeah. For the longest, I didn't have a cell phone, so I had an MP3 player and I didn't have a TV either. So for a whole summer, I was sitting in my room listening to all these songs I downloaded on my MP3 player, full of like Trey Songz, Chris Brown, like shit, fucking Mario. Man, I could go on and on. Bruno Mars, like I can go on and on. But I would really sit in my room because I didn't have a phone. I would try to sing these songs like to get them notes perfect until I got good at it, I guess.
Now, when it comes to some of these artists that you mentioned, especially on the rap side of things, you mentioned Lil Wayne, Gucci Mane. I think that's all you named so far. I can't remember 100%.
Yeah.
But what drew you to each of these here? What drew you to Wayne? What drew you to Gucci?
Well, I'm big into astrology, and I didn't know this back then, but a lot of my placements have to do with feeling. That's the best way I can explain it. So at an early age, I didn't understand, but I was only drawn to music that told a story about how a person felt in a certain moment or experiencing a certain thing that they went through. So what drew me to these rappers was the stories that they were telling and how they were just transparent with their music. Like, I love that. That's the only way I'm gonna really get into an artist, and that's what got me into all of these people, for sure.
Do you remember how you discovered Lil Wayne or Gucci Mane, or did someone put you onto them?
Shit, I don't know. Let me think. Well, coming up in Louisiana, like, everybody know Lil Wayne. So everybody know Juvie, the Hot Boys, Birdman. Like, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure somebody put me on, but that nigga was just always there. And Gucci Mane is Gucci Mane. Like, he's just another one of them figures. Like, if you knew anything about rap music, you knew Gucci Mane. For sure.
Safe to say these, on the rap side of things, Lil Wayne, Gucci Mane, safe to say these were your musical inspirations or influences as well?
Oh, definitely. There's plenty and more. I could go on and on. I'm like a sponge. Anything I heard, I was trying to recreate it. So, yeah.
These two in particular, though, have you ever had a chance to personally meet either Lil Wayne or Gucci?
No.
Now, you described how you learned how to sing.
Mm-hmm.
But how'd you learn how to rap? Was it those Lil Wayne, well, that Lil Wayne description with the rewriting of his cadence using your lyrics? Was that how you learned how to rap, or was it even previous than that?
Previous than that. Even like at an early age, I was writing poetry. And as time went on, like, just the rewriting Wayne rhymes was nothing compared to the poetry. The poetry was when I actually sat down and put my feeling into words, and I would recite them to myself. Like, I never let anybody hear it. After time went on, those poet lines, I guess you could say, turned into rap lines. I started to give it a shot because I felt like over time I always attracted artists, like, just like the people that surrounded me. And it definitely says a lot about myself. I only attracted like artists, like rappers, singers, or anybody who was creative. So I was like, shit, let me get this shit to go. I did it. I had a natural knack for it. Like, yeah, I just went done with this shit. That's how I learned how to rap, poetry, shit.
What age was this with the poetry?
Damn. Keep it a buck. I moved out to Georgia around 2008. Shit, probably around 2008. Yeah.
And you wouldn't, I can't remember exactly what you just said, but it was something like you wouldn't recite the lyrics to anyone out loud? Is that what you?
Yeah, I only spit them to myself.
Why not share back then?
It was always stuff that contained very personal information. I'm an only child, so growing up, it was either I talk to moms about what's going on, or you sit in your room and you deal with it. So I kind of used that and just put it into everything I had. Like, once I was writing them poet lines, like, man, it was like it was therapy for me. Like, I'm actually talking to somebody. So when I would like recite it to myself, and I'm like, damn, that shit sound good. That was good enough for me. It was almost like I'm my own therapist. I am the person who's going to therapy. You know what I'm saying?
Looking at your life now, back then, should you have received professional therapy at that time?
Probably, for sure. And I ended up getting therapy later on in life. But yeah, I probably should have gotten professional therapy. But it would probably wouldn't be here if I didn't start with that. You know, the nigga Kanye said, everything and I'm not made me what I am. So, yeah.
When you did seek therapy did you seek therapy? Was it forced? Was the therapy forced?
It was kind of forced. I was bad as shit. I was always getting into something. My mom was just like, man. And I had an anger issue. And she was like, yeah, you can get your ass checked out.
Was therapy helpful?
No.
Did you receive medication at the time?
Man, they tried to give me some shit. I don't even know what it was, but it was for ADHD or some shit. I took that shit, take that shit in the morning after I eat. I think I tried to walk to the bus. The bus was like a block up the street. I passed out. I ain't even make it to the bus, and after that, I ain't taking no more medicine.
Was your therapist or doctor aware you had stopped
Yeah.
taking it?
Yeah, I ain't even go back to Shorty. Yeah, I ain't even going back because they wouldn't really fuck with me like that anyway. It seemed like they was just kind of like, oh, he got this, give him this. This is the dosage, give him that. It's more of a paycheck.
But to be fair, you only ever saw one therapist.
No, that's not the only therapist.
Oh, you've seen others?
Yeah, I've seen one. Yeah.
And you still say, out of all those different, how many therapists have you seen in your life?
Probably about four or five.
And after seeing 4 different therapists, you still say it wasn't helpful?
See, after you get about to the third to the fourth, that's when I was getting it later on in life, like more like high school type shit. I feel like that was a little bit more beneficial than when I was younger. I feel like as a youngin', they not gonna truly understand what you're talking about because you probably can't articulate your words, you can't get out how you really feel, and they just like, oh, he's a kid, you know. But nah, like once I got older, niggas was like, oh, so that's how you really feel. And they started like really trying to help a nigga and shit. But yeah.
So the very first therapist you seen, you received medication and you stopped taking it.
Stopped taking it, yeah.
But the second, third, and fourth therapist, did you ever receive medication in any of those instances?
They never even prescribed it. It's like, I guess as a jit, I was just like mad, like hyper. Like I was always on the go. I'm a Gemini, so that planet, Gemini planet, is ruled by Mercury. I'm always fast moving. I'm on the go, and I can't sit down and like just concentrate. But as I got older, I settled down, slowed down, matured. And it wasn't so much more about, oh, he can't concentrate, he can't focus, he's a loudmouth in class, he's bad. It came more to what's actually on your mind, kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you feeling? And, yeah.
So if you can, give me a chronological history of the therapist you've seen. At what age or what grade? So the very first one, what age or what grade were you in?
Very first therapist, probably about 8th grade, maybe earlier than that. Either from 7th to 8th grade, first therapist. Second therapist, probably gonna be about 10th grade. 10th grade, but we used to talk on the phone. 10th grade was around the time that I was bouncing through Texas and Georgia. My mom was homeless, and I was homeless as well. We were just traveling, and I was going through a lot at the time. And that's when I was really in contact with my therapist the most. And that was, around 10th grade. Around 12th grade, I had a therapist, and me and dude was just cool. Like, he was a cool dude. He used to just help me with my day-to-day problems, like bitches, school, like just shit a normal teenager goes through. Yeah.
And then the fourth?
Most likely in between those periods, because I don't even remember that nigga type shit.
And I know the very first one, it was forced, I believe you said.
Yeah.
But the second, third, or fourth, well, you can't remember one of them. But
I think the second one is the one I don't really remember type shit.
Okay.
But now the third and the fourth one, those were, I actually, them people was actually, like, I chose them people, like, I fuck with them type shit. So, yeah.
You sought therapy yourself?
I sought therapy
It was
myself.
voluntary?
Yeah, mostly because of depression and anxiety. Yeah.
When it came to depression and anxiety, were you ever diagnosed as that, or you were?
Yeah.
Are those two situations that you have overcome at this point, or do you still battle with them?
It's a constant struggle, but the marathon continues. Like, you don't never really get rid of it. You just learn how to deal with it better, and that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Did any of your therapists know you did music, and if they did, what were their thoughts on it?
I think my last one knew I did music, and he fucked with this shit. He was like, yeah, bro, this shit hard, but he was more focused on, you know, like, yo, you need to worry about school and shit like that. He was a good role model. Shout out, dude.
Well, I meant not if he checked the music out and gave an opinion on it. I meant more so, did he think that you did music was helpful to what you were going through?
Oh, shit.
Was that helpful with maybe a strategy of what you were going through, or did he say anything of that nature?
You know what's funny? I don't think we ever talked about that. That never
Okay.
came up, I don't think. It was more so like I tried to show him my music. He was like, yeah, that's cool. How do you feel? For real.
At this point, do you feel like you need therapy or want to see a therapist?
Nah, I'm good. And I say that from the most genuine place ever. I'm not just saying that. I've actually came a long way. Like, just growing up as a man. Like, I wish I could be there for my younger self, give him some game. Like, just give him a little bit of sauce, because there's strategies and different little leeways that you can take to benefit this shit. Like, it's a lot of people who deal with this shit, they don't even know they're dealing with it. Luckily enough, I was aware.
Can we talk about the homeless stint?
Shit, for sure.
Can you explain that period and describe that period in your life, how long it was and what you experienced?
They say it lasted about what, shit? Say it lasted, damn. I'm gonna keep it a whole buck with you. That shit lasted up until like 20. I'm low-key embarrassed to say this, probably about 2020, 2019, 2020 type shit.
Well, how long did that period last for?
So since 2014. Yeah.
So 2014 to either 2019 or 2020.
Yes, sir.
How did you become homeless?
My mom's a single parent, and she ended up losing her job, and at some point in time, depression took over her as well, and she kind of just she was slowly starting to give up. Like, so I kind of grew up early, just being on my own, having to maneuver. I didn't really have a mom at the time. She was more like just there, because she wasn't really herself. But once she got kicked out and shit, like my grandfather was like, yo, bop through to Texas. Like, we got a place for you. We got, all that shit. We got there. It wasn't nothing we was expecting. Shit, it was in Fort Worth. And we ain't had no food for a long time. Like, nigga was hungry. For a long time, nigga was hungry. And I was going to school and shit. I was eating lunch, But when I got home, me and my moms had to make something shake. Usually we would go to the little gas station up the street or ask my grandfather for a little money to go to churches. After that, we bought through to fucking Atlanta, where I stayed with my auntie and my uncle. Situations with them didn't work out, being a teenager. My mom definitely wasn't doing good at the time, and it was just me and my friends and shit. And I came up with the idea myself that I was gonna move back to Baton Rouge, because I felt like it would be better for my mom if I just left her and let her get better on her own. But some crazy shit happened. Moms and I ended up, having to do our shit, having to move out on, get kicked out type shit, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And I ended up staying with a friend. Like, a little time went on after that. My mom was in a motel type shit, Then I ended up linking with a good friend named Trey. And his mom and him, they took me in. To this day, like my brother. And I stayed with them for a little while. Then I moved back to Baton Rouge, and stayed with my auntie. Me and my moms slept in one room together, and stayed with my auntie. It was a one-bedroom apartment. Luckily enough, my auntie let us stay there for a good little bit of time. It was really hard to get on my 2 feet, but I was hustling on the side and shit, type shit, and God been working type shit. Mom's had got her own crib. I have been doing pretty good with myself, making money and shit, So life had just started looking up recently. You know what I'm saying? It's been a hard time, but nigga got through it. So.
Not homeless anymore?
No, sir. Not homeless no more.
Now, I just wanted to go through some of these details that you mentioned. You mentioned a grandfather in Texas. You mentioned an aunt and uncle in Atlanta, and then you mentioned another aunt. I believe that's a different aunt.
Yeah.
Were all these family members on your mother's side?
Yes. Yes.
What happened to your father?
Me and Pops still cool. I fuck with old boy. He in Texas, but my dad, shit, if you want to be honest, my dad he was a pimp. He played that game, you know, played it on my mom's, played it on my sister's mom's. And no disrespect to him, he was young, you know. He ain't no, I ain't gonna say he ain't know no better, but he probably did know better. But he was a Rolling Stone, let's keep it a bean. But he got him a wife, had some more kids, my half siblings, they live out in Texas. And me and him would talk every now and then. It's my dog though, like, we ain't really had that father-son relationship, but as I got older, me and him, like, it's my dog, that's all I can say. Yeah.
Your parents had split at some point?
Before I was born, I think, or right after I was born, yeah.
Were they ever married at one point?
No.
What job did she work, or where did she work, if you care to share, when she had gotten fired initially?
She's a nurse. She's been a nurse her whole life. But she was working at this place called Core. I think it was Core. Something called Core. But basically, you know how companies have health benefits, some shit like that. She was one of the people who would do the health benefits for this company, so to say, like the whole company type shit. She would be the one who they would call on, like, I need this, this, and this. Okay, we'll get this done for you. You need therapy? Okay, I'll get this done for you type shit. I think that's like what she was doing. I'm not sure though. I wasn't 100% sure. Yeah.
When it came to shelter during the homeless period, you mentioned different houses.
Yeah.
You mentioned also a hotel motel situation.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the worst that it ever got?
No.
What was the bottom point of shelter for you during that time?
When we was on the curb. We was on the curb for a good little bit. But some random strangers that took us in, actually. My mom was like freaking out type shit. But luckily enough, I don't know. That was God, really, that was God. Some random strangers had took us in for the night. But that was the worst. It was cold as shit, like 2 a.m., like just sitting on the curb, like trying to figure something out. But yeah.
What was the longest you would stay on the curb for?
That was it. That was probably the longest. I think it was, I don't know how many hours. I'm not sure.
When it came to the strangers that picked you up, was there a trust issue at all with that?
Hell yeah. Not from us, though. Not from us, but more so like his wife, the man's wife that took us in. It was kind of like sketchy, I guess, to have a woman and her kid that you don't know coming in. I don't know, it was weird. But we stayed there for the night, you know. I think her son, the woman's son, had drove us to like Stone Mountain, Georgia. And we waited in a fucking McDonald's before we got a hotel for a couple hours. Probably, I don't know how long. It was hours ago. This was years ago, though. So, yeah.
When you were on that curb, do you remember what that felt like?
It hurt. It was cold. You know, I remember thinking, you know what's funny? That's where I got my rap name from. It was on a Thursday night. And I changed, my name was actually Royce, like Rolls Royce, but I changed it to Royce. And but that night, I changed my name to Thrsday because it was something that was, I wanted to turn that situation into something great. And I chose to take out the you because it's like Thrsday, no you. I don't need you. Like I can do it without you type shit. Do it on my own. And yeah.
How cold was it?
You funny. Shall we be honest? I think it was like the fucking November, December, I don't know. It was definitely at least about 50, at least 60, I don't know, 50 or 60. It was windy as shit though, I remember that.
Now, it's obvious that your relative, well, I don't know. I don't want to assume. Did others know you were homeless?
I feel like it was nah. I wasn't really talking to family that much. Me and my family we ain't that tight, but it was just mostly on the terms of people I was staying with and whoever my mom was talking to and shit. So, nah, not the whole world knew. Nah, ain't nobody know like that.
So there were certain relatives that didn't know about it, friends that didn't know about it, classmates that didn't know about it?
Yeah. I just kept it simple. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing my thing. Like, I ain't gonna just, tell everybody. It just ain't seemed that important to me.
And when it came to this homeless period in your life, was this something you were ever prepared for? Like, were you warned this could happen or this was imminent?
No.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Did you ever mingle amongst other homeless people?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I knew there was this one lady, like, can't even remember I was talking about it. But she was at the hotel we was staying at, because the hotel we was staying at is in Fulton County. It's like, I'm not sure, but you can stay there for however long, like it's for living situations. And there was another woman there, and I don't know, it was just, I think she talked to my mom about something, I'm not really sure. But it was so sweet, it was like, I don't know, it was wholesome, you said, yeah.
Now, previously I asked you what the bottom point with shelter was for you.
Yeah.
But what was the bottom point? And if it was something you already stated, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That could fill in this answer. But what was the bottom point during that whole homeless stint? Shelter or not, just was there a bottom point, or was that curb scenario that you described, was that the bottom point for you?
I think it got deeper than the curb. I think the bottom point probably was when, for me personally, because just at a young age, school was like kind of important to me at the time. I was really focused on graduating, and I could not get to school. So like, I would be at school, and like in my head, I'm like, how the fuck I'm gonna get back here? I'm like, I'm probably not gonna graduate. I was failing already, so that's when I kind of felt like even though I was on the curve, that was pretty bad. But like, just knowing like I'm failing all these classes, like, I'm probably not gonna be able to get to school for the end of the semester. I'm like, damn, that's tough. But yeah, that was probably the worst part, cause yeah.
Did you ever fail a grade or get held back?
Almost. Nah, I didn't. I didn't.
You were able to graduate on time?
Hell yeah, 2018.
What school?
McKinley Senior High. Yeah, that bit Gates went there. Shout out Gates. Yeah. Baton Rouge shit.
Mentally, were there ever thoughts for you personally during this homeless stint on giving up?
Hell yeah.
Killing yourself?
Hell yeah.
Maybe a phrase that they say, crashing out and robbing a bank or something of that nature?
Almost. I ain't never get to the point about robbing no fucking bank though. I ain't know. But I got to the point about crashing out. It wasn't even necessarily like getting to that point, but like I would just be so irritable. Like I really crashed. Like at that point in time, like anybody could tell me anything, I probably would have crashed out. But it was just because my mom, man, my mom is my lifeline. So she wasn't doing well. I ain't noticed I wasn't doing well, but I wasn't doing well. So you can imagine, like, I ain't got, you know what I'm saying? I've been with her my whole life, and then she not well. It's just me out here. Anybody tell me anything, I was probably gonna crash out. And I'm pretty sure I did a couple times. Yeah.
What's your definition of crashing out?
Shit. Crashing out probably gonna be shit, getting into it. Like, just really, yeah, like, nigga tell you something is up. Like, it's up. Like, whether they get to that point of pistol play or not, it's up. Like, that's what crashing out mean. Like, we can go there. And, like, luckily it never got that far, for sure. But niggas know out there, they still hoes. Yeah, I'm talking about you, nigga.
What was the turning point on getting out of being homeless?
The turning point was when my auntie was like, shit, like, she was just really being helpful. This is my great aunt, my grandmother's sister. And this was the one that took us in Baton Rouge. And like, she was so helpful, man. Like, giving me all types of job applications, like, just really putting me in a position. And like, my mom was just getting job application after job application after job application. And she was getting interview after interview after interview. I'm getting interview after interview after interview. And it's like, wow, like, shit's starting to pick up steam. And then like, once my mom started working again, I started working again. Like shit was just cool. Like, I was just on my shit, you know. Mom's was on her shit. That was the turning point. That's when shit really started picking up, you know what I'm saying? We was actually on our own 2 feet type shit. Even though it was still a separation.
And was that how you got out of it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just working hard, working towards that shit. Like, ended up saving enough to get a little spot. Shit nice.
What did this entire homeless experience teach you?
Whew. I'm gonna be honest. I was very sheltered, you know. I would say I'm sheltered because my mom's always always had a good job, you know. It was just me and her, so she took care of me. But like, once that happened, I really experienced the world. I experienced how cruel people could be. I experienced how good people can be. I just seen the good and bad of everybody. Now I can see the good and bad in everybody. It just taught me. When you down on your ass like that, I can't even explain what you can take from it, but you take something from it for sure. You just look at life from a whole different perspective. I'll never be ungrateful for anything I got, ever.
What do you want people to know that's watching this about homeless people?
First of all, to you goofy ass niggas who be disrespecting homeless people, don't do that. Just because you don't understand how they got there, just because you don't understand why they there, just because you don't necessarily like them motherfuckers, just leave them alone, bro. Like, niggas going through shit. Like, you know one thing about homeless folks, your ass could be there. That's all I gotta say. Them homeless people, they was normal people at some point. But at some point, it got hard. And for some people, it get real hard. Some people can't ride that boat, some people can't float, some people drown. But you need to understand, you can't judge no man, bro. You not God. You disrespecting God's people. Whether they poor, broke, homeless, whether they rich, no matter what. Don't judge. Don't be cruel to any man. Like, we all the same person, bro. That's all I want people to know.
Let's say somebody's watching this and they happen to be homeless themselves. Anything you would say to them?
I feel you, little bro. That shit hard. But there's many people who's probably been, and I'm knowing, way worse situations that I've been, so I probably can't give much. But what I can say is, look deep within yourself to find the drive, to find the light to keep going. As much as you feel like you want to give up, as much as you want to feel like there's nowhere out, like there's no way out of this shit, I promise you, God got a silver lining for you. I promise you the universe is gonna give you something if you look deep within yourself, if you in touch with that higher realm, if you in touch with yourself, man, like, just trust the process. That's all I gotta say. It's hard. I know it's hard. This life is hard. Shit ain't gonna never be easy, but never give up. Never give up. Because if once you give up, you giving in, you done. You might as well be dead. Don't give up. That's with anything. Not even just being homeless. It's just like chasing your dreams, all that shit. Just don't give up. For sure.
Looking back, what led to you being homeless? Could this have been prevented, or was it inevitable?
And see, I couldn't answer that. I feel like there was so many things in play that was out of my control. So whether it could have been prevented or not, that's up to God. Like, I feel like it was a lot of things that I couldn't control. Yeah, it was out of my hands, for sure.
You mentioned God here in this interview.
A lot.
Do you follow a religion?
No. I'm actually not sure of my religion. I just know my connection with the higher power. We here with it. We right here with it. That's why I'm here right now. That's why I'm here talking to these people.
Were you raised to follow a religion?
I was raised Christian, yeah.
Was it a certain denomination under Christianity?
Baptist. Yeah.
And who raised you under that?
My mom, grandmother, all that shit.
At what point did you divert from that?
Couldn't even tell you. I just know, like, around my teenage years, I was like, man, something ain't adding up. Y'all gotta tell me something. that shit don't seem right, my boy. That shit don't seem right. That shit, like, I started getting in touch with just all the religions, Buddhism, Hinduism, shit. I could go on and on. The Muslim culture, all that shit. Like, just reading into all that shit, just seeing. And I realized, like, instead of really finding one that I just click with, I kind of just fucked with all of them. Like, every one of them had their own little piece of something you could take from. And I feel like that's what it all is. Like, just take a little piece of everything and just live good, just be happy, like, be kind to people, like, for real. Yeah.
And what's been the reaction from your mother or grandmother since you've diverted?
When I say about grandmother, I mean great-grandmother. She passed away.
Oh, okay.
And my mom, man, I don't know. Me and my mom don't be talking about that shit. My mom just, I'm a real ass nigga. Like, she understand that I'm her son. She understand I'm probably just like her. She probably on the same shit, but she's more Christian than I am, more religious. But we on the same shit. I feel like if she was in my position in my time, she probably would have went the same way. Like, yeah.
Great-grandmother on your mother's side?
Yeah.
How did she pass, if you don't mind me asking?
It was her time. That's all I could think about, yeah.
What's the reaction when you see other homeless people at this point? You're not homeless anymore, but when you do,
I
what's your
always want to
reaction?
give. I always want to give, and I be telling them niggas just it's a little piece of sauce. I don't do it all the time. A lot of the time when I see them, especially in New Orleans, when you touch down in New Orleans by the Mercedes Dome, there's a bridge full of tents and shit, just full of homeless people. You can't do nothing but just feel sorry. Like, why can't we do nothing? Like, niggas just be wanting to help the world type shit. But yeah, I just feel bad for them. I try to help as much as I can. I be giving money, try to give a good piece of advice, try to just give some sauce, like just some uplifting energy all the time, always.
Now, I asked you a lot of questions about homelessness.
Mm.
Is there anything I didn't ask you that you want to share in regards to homelessness that people may want to know about it? Anything we left out in regards to it that you want to shine some light on?
Nah.
About that experience?
Not that I know of.